everybody. It's Michelle, and I've got another Halloween craft for you today. I'm going to be doing a jewelry tutorial for you, but today it's not a bead charm. Today we're going to be doing a choker. I'm calling this a cutthroat choker for Halloween because that's what it looks like. I'm not usually one for the gory side of Halloween, but my daughter wears choker necklaces a lot, and I really thought this would be cute for Halloween. I thought she would like it, and she does. So this is really cute, maybe a little more on the gory side, but it is Halloween. For this you're going to need some number 6 seed beads. I have a total of 49 here in the dark red of the seed beads. I've got them separated into a group of 24 and a group of 25, and you'll see why here in just a little bit. I'm going to be using those for two different things there. I've got 4 of the teardrop shaped beads in the dark red, and those are 6mm by 8mm. I've got 4 of the dark red bicones, and those are 5mm. I have 8 head pins. I have these in the red color because I wanted everything, all of the red, to blend in together. I didn't want a silver shiny head pin showing. So I ordered these off of eBay from Beadaholic. So I'll give you the link to that in the box below. I've also got 4 Crimp Tubes here, and 2 of those will be in line with my beads. So I went ahead and colored 2 of those red with my Sharpie here, which we will still need that Sharpie. We'll have to touch that back up. Some of that probably rub off, and we'll touch it up when it's all finished. 2 more of those that are going to go around the back where the clasp is and stuff. So we've got our lobster clasp and a jump ring. And then I've got a 2-inch length of chain here. Now I'm going to be using that for an extension so we can adjust the size of our choker. So you want a chain with a fairly large link so that you can hook your clasp into any link along the way to adjust the size. And then we're going to be needing our clear stretchy cord. I've got that in the 0.8mm. You could probably use something smaller if you wanted to, but I like this when it's going to be standing on its own. It's got a little more integrity. It's a little thicker, so I like that. And then our red Sharpie pen for touch-ups on our crimp beads there. And we're going to use the Loctite super glue again, the gel control that we used before. And I'm going to keep my ruler nearby so that we make sure we get our measurements right on everything. And I think that's everything. So let me move some of this aside and we'll get started. I'm just going to scoop this back so we can bring that up when we need it. Okay. For our choker, we're going to have a series of, it's going to come straight across here and have a series of little dangles. That's going to look like the blood is dripping. So we're going to create our series of dangles first and get all of those ready. And I've worked out a little sequence for you so you'll have that to go by if you want to do it exactly the way that I have, or you can just kind of vary those any way that you choose. Okay, to get started on our dangles, we're going to take a head pin for each one and just string our beads on there and make a loop at the top like we do for our charms. And I'm going to have a total of 8 of the dangles all the way across. I probably won't make you all sit through watching me make all of those, but I'll make a couple to show you. My first one is going to have a teardrop bead at the bottom and 1 seed bead on top of that. Just creates a little small drip. And I'm going to be using now this first pile here that is the ones that we're going to be using for our dangles. And then these will be what we use to string along the line in between. So, to make that dangle, I have learned a new way to make that loop that I wanted to show you all. So we're just going to bend that over at our 45-degree angle. And then bring our round nose pliers in and hold right at that corner. And we're not cutting off this length yet. First we're going to hold that there, right at the corner, and then wrap this around our round nose pliers. Reposition it here so we can go the rest of the way around. And that's going to give us a better loop than we usually get the other way. I really like this way a lot better. So then I'll just turn that around this way and bring in my wire cutters. Clip that right where they meet. And I'm going to save these because of course I'm going to make jump rings to utilize all my leftovers here so that I don't waste that hardened wire left over from those head pins. And maybe readjust and straighten that out a little bit. I don't know if you all can see, but that's a much better loop. It comes out a lot more rounded that way. I really like doing it that way. I'm going to do one more so you all can see. I'm going to do the one that's about in the middle. It'll be the longest dangle. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then show you how that longest one comes out. And that one is going to have a teardrop on the bottom also. And then we're going to have one of the bicones. And then we've got 6 seed beads on this one. Okay, and now we're going to bend that at our 45-degree angle. Hold it right at the bend and wrap it around our round nose pliers. Reposition to wrap that the rest of the way around. And I love how round those loops come out. Okay, turn it around and cut off the excess. And then straighten it up just a little. Readjust. Make sure the loop is closed. I really like those. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make the rest of my dangles, and I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll come back and show you all of the finished dangles and how we'll put those together in order. I'll be right back. Okay, I've completed all of my dangles, and I wanted to show you all those. I've got them lined up here in the order that we're going to be stringing them on to our choker. And like I said, you can do this any way that you choose, but this is the pattern that I've worked out. So if you all like the way that this one looks, you can do it by this pattern or create one of your own. But here I've got on my first one is a very short dangle. It's got, well, you know, you string it on from the bottom up. So that's the way I'll tell it to you. On this first one we've got a teardrop and 1 seed bead. On the second one, we've got a bicone and 3 seed beads. On the next one, we've got just 2 seed beads. And then on our longest one here toward the middle is the teardrop, bicone, and 6 seed beads that we did before. Our next one is just 4 seed beads. And then this one is a bicone and 3 seed beads. This one is a teardrop, a bicone, and 4 seed beads. And then our last one is a teardrop and 2 seed beads. Okay, so we're ready to get started stringing that on. And you may want to adjust some of these measurements according to the size of your neck or whoever's going to be wearing it. But that's why I kind of put the extension chain on there to make it a little bit adjustable. So this should be pretty versatile. I'm going to start out with about 2 feet of my clear stretchy cord. Maybe just a tad more. That's the measurement of it unstretched. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to be stringing from the right toward that way, which will be everything on the left going on first, working our way back toward the right. And then we'll just go ahead and get everything strung on there. We'll worry about centering it up a little bit later. So the first thing we're going to put on is one of our crimp beads, one of the red ones, because we want this whole line of red to blend in. Get my ruler out of the way. Okay, and then next, let me move my seed beads over here. Next we're going to put 4 seed beads. Okay, so 4 seed beads. And then our first dangle is going to go on. And then 2 more seed beads. And our next dangle. And then 3 seed beads. And the next dangle. And then just 1 seed bead. That one's stopped up. There's another one. Bring in one from off to the side. Okay, so 1 seed bead and our next dangle. And then 2 seed beads. next angle. Three seed beads. And our next angle. Three seed beads again. And our next angle. Two seed beads. Our last dangle. And then our last four seed beads. And then finish that off with our other red crimp bead. Those crimp beads, just like I found the pins, the head pins in red, you may be able to get the crimp beads in red, I don't know. But I didn't really think of that far ahead to check online if I could have ordered those. So I just went ahead and colored them with the Sharpie. But if you can find those in red, by all means go ahead and get them in red. But if not, it's no problem really to color those in with the Sharpie. And there's what it all looks like. So next we're going to get those crimp tubes crimped to hold all that in place, and then that's going to leave our clear cord to be almost kind of invisible around the neck, so that all you see is this cutthroat area in the front. So I'm going to get my crimping pliers and we'll try to even this up as much as we can to make sure that we're working in the middle. Okay, now the first thing I want to do is I think I'm going to glue these seed beads, just the two on the ends, to help hold that in place, and then we'll do our crimping. So we get everything lined up where we want it. I'm just going to move that seed bead out of the way. Put some glue right underneath it on my stretchy cord here. And slide that over my little dot of glue there. And that'll help hold it in place while we do our crimping. And get everything adjusted, kind of lined up together like it should be, but not squeezed in real tight. And we'll do the one on the other end. Just a little dot of glue on the cord, and then slide that seed bead right over it. like I said, we want it all in there where it's going to go, but not super tight. We want the beads to have a little bit of room to move, but not enough to leave a gap. Okay. Now that that's kind of holding it still for us, I'm going to get my crimping pliers. And you all probably know the way these work. If I can get that to focus, I can show you there's two little notches here. And the back notch is going to give us that little macaroni shape. It's going to flatten it for us. And then we'll turn it sideways and use the front notch, and that's going to clamp it on shut for us the rest of the way. So we'll come in here, hold that down where it goes all the way next to my bead there that I've got glued. And we'll start first with our back notch, squeeze that flat, and then our front notch sideways, squeeze that on shut for us. Okay, and as you can see, that took off a lot of my red I had from my Sharpie marker. Okay, so we'll bring that down and crimp that with our back notch first. Turn it sideways and do the front notch. Well, okay, there we go. That got it. Okay. Now, the next thing we have to look at is some of our measurements that we've got going on. And we've got we're going to measure from our seed bead to our last seed bead. And we've got about 3 1/8 inches. What we're going to do is we're going to come the rest of the way out toward the end here and put a loop and do another one of our crimp beads there. And we're going to do that on both ends. So from one crimp bead at the end to the other, we need a total overall length of 11 1/2 inches. So if we take away our 3 1/8 from each seed bead out to our next crimp bead, we want a total of about 4 3/16 inches, probably. Okay, so what we're going to need to do, first of all, we'll put our crimp bead on there. And on this end, we're going to do our chain. So we'll go ahead and put that through one of the links of our chain. And then feed this end right back through that crimp bead the other way to make our loop. So I'm going to see if I can get a hold of that to help me pull it through. Okay, that is not the easiest task. Okay, so now we're we're going to try to get that measurement. Measuring just past this other seed bead. And we want this crimp bead to be at 4 3/16 or whatever, depending on the measurement of your beaded area here. Whatever is going to be equal on both sides of that to make it a total of 11.5 inches from this crimp bead to the one just like it that's going to be on the other end. Okay, and we want to measure this without stretching any of that. We want the stretch to be able to work for us, to have a little give in the finished necklace. Okay, that's got us at about 4 1/4. I'm going to say that's close enough because we do have that extension chain here that we can adjust it. So we crimp that first in the back notch, and then turn it sideways on the front notch and fold that on over. Okay. Now this excess here, we're just going to cut that away with our wire cutters. But I always do like to follow up with some of the Loctite glue anywhere I've got connections like this, and just touch that on there like that to help hold that in so it won't come loose on us. Okay, now, let's see, turn it back like we had it. We're going to do the same thing on the other end. We're going to be going for that 4 3/16, or maybe 4 1/4 if we have to. So we put our crimp bead on, or crimp tube, whatever you call them. And then we're going to go ahead and put our jump ring on our lobster clasp. Close that up. Okay, and we'll put that on the end, right through that jump ring, and then feed the end back through. Let's see. Well, this is supposed to be after the crimp tube. There we go. Now we're going to feed this back through the opposite direction. Oh, and that time was much easier. Okay. So now we're going to try to get our measurement. Adjust that down until we get it where we need it. looks like about 4 3/16. Pull that on through. See if we still got our measurement. It's a little more. So we'll come down again. That looks pretty good. So now we get our crimping pliers, and again, first in the back notch, second in the front notch, sideways. Okay. Then we can cut off our tail end here and touch that with a little bit of glue. And that completes our choker necklace. We'll just have to give that glue a little bit of time to dry. And you can adjust this into any of these links that you want with this little drip bead area in the front, and the clear cord here will be invisible the rest of the way around your neck. And that's your cutthroat choker for Halloween. I'm going to see if I've got my measurement the way I needed it to be in the long run. And I wanted from crimp bead to crimp bead to be 11.5 inches. Looks like we've got 11 5/8 or so, which is very, very close. So I'm happy with that. That's plenty good enough. And then we've got that 2 inches of adjustment chain. And that's your complete cutthroat choker necklace for Halloween. I really hope you all like this tutorial. I thought it was a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm usually not one to go for the kind of gory things with Halloween, but I thought this was really, really cute. So you all let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give me a like over on my Facebook page and follow me on Pinterest. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.